Oh, so fucking windy here. The most windy town in Scandinavia. Bodø. In West Scandinavia, I'm in Sápmi, or as the King of Norway would like to call it, Kingdom of Norway. So it depends who you ask, where you are. If you ask the Sami people, they would say you're in Sápmi. Well, the King of Norway, he claims this place, and the King of Norway has kind of a system. The political system here is so that there should not be any, they don't want to have any poor people here. It kind of works. Like the living standards is quite high compared to the rest of the world. But it has its flaws. It's not like a communistic society. The socialism isn't that strong, like they merged with the capitalistic system here. So if you have a job, if you have an income, you're not entitled to the social benefits, economic benefits from the state. So in many cases, as in my case, well, it's better for us to not work. Then we receive some money. Every month they give you 6,000 krona or so, which is, yeah, like 600 euros you get every month, each person, for not working. If I work, I wouldn't get those money. Of course, I would get a bigger salary than 600 euro a month. But also I would have to spend my days away from my family, which is not really what I want. So 600 euros a month, you can live quite okay. You cannot pay rent for those money. But the King of Norway, he also pays your rent if you don't have money to pay for it. And he will also pay the electricity. So it's actually very beneficial to not have a job here, because then you will receive so much from the state. The backside of the coin is that if you don't have a job, if you're receiving all these benefits from the state, then the state feel like they're entitled to control your life in certain ways. The child protection service here is very strong and quite dangerous, I would say. So this is what you risk by not having a job. You risk to have your children taken away, simply. These guys are working. In order to get those 600 euros a month, you need to stay put in one place. Kingdom of Norway is separated into regions called kommune. It's 300 or something like that. And if you go from one commune to the other, you're not entitled to the money. You have to stay put in one commune, which is quite a small, well, there are some big communes, but here, Bodø commune, where I am, it's not really so big. So if I go to the neighbor commune in the south, or in the islands here, or just go a bit around, as I do a lot, they say I'm not entitled to those money. I wonder how is the dumpster diving here. So it's just so enjoyable to walk around here and hear all these people when they talk Swedish. It's like music in my ears. Vackra, vackra Norrland. you must apply for this money in the commune where you are registered. And where you are registered is where you had your address the last time. So you need to have an address in order to be a part of that commune, or to receive this money. I don't have an address. I haven't had an address in many years. But the last place I had an address is in Bodø commune, in this town. As I do often, I live in south of Scandinavia. Scandinavia is big, it's huge. And if I live on the very, very south, and I would like to have some money from the state, as I do sometimes, because I can. Not that I need, but I can, as long as it's the law, and as long as I can get money like that, I do it. But I cannot do it in another commune than where I am registered. So if I'm living with my family in south of Scandinavia, I have to travel, more than 1,000 kilometers to get to Bodø commune, just to deliver a paper at the office. Fuck this shit. And then very often I have to wait for the result, like for them to make, a verdict of my application. And it takes time, or just the traveling to Bodø takes time. And the waiting for the bureaucracy, it takes time. Meanwhile, my kids are without a father, which is not really how I would like to spend my life. So I don't do this journey so often. I prefer actually to stay with my kids instead of getting 600 euros. I don't have another address. So then I'm stuck with my old whereabouts. So this is one flaw in the system. You have to you actually have to be in the commune, in the region where you are registered. And in order to get registered in another commune, you need to change your address. In order to change your address, you need to, in many cases, to pay a rent. And to pay a rent, it costs money. I would rather use the money for other stuff than paying rent. I find it a big waste of money. The rent here is extremely expensive. The food here as well, the electricity, more expensive than the electricity we get from the solar system, at least. That's one way to survive in Scandinavia, but you have to be in the club. I was born here, so I'm in the club, luckily. Yeah, the street artists are doing a great job. It's quite easy to survive. You just need some food, have a good rest. Especially in this town, it's very, very easy to survive. There are several ways to do this. In Bodø you can find bikes very easy. They are just spread around after every weekend when the drunk people have stolen a bike. They just put them in the ditch. And before someone destroys the bikes in the ditch, you can just take them. Well, at least that's what I did. I don't claim this bike. I will not lock it. If the right owner comes and finds it, I will be happy to give it back. I was just saving it from the ditch. I saved it from its destruction. And it's so noisy, all the traffic. I prefer staying in the forest. Find a place where to camp. It's like not so easy because it's so many extremely beautiful spots here. So like it's hard to choose which beautiful spot to stay on. That's another way to survive in Bodø. If you're not in the club, if you're not subscribed to the Kingdom of Norway Country Club, then there's options. If you want to stay here, it's huge land, it's so much forest, it's clean water, and it's a lot of food, either in the dumpsters or in the forests. Lingonberry season. Oh, nice. There's lots of them. Maybe there's some blueberries here also, or bilberry, or whatever you call them. Yeah, the forest food. Power. One way is to actually build your own house in the forest. And since it's so much space here, they won't even bother, because you're not stepping on anybody's toes. And if you are, you just move to another place. It's so huge, the land. Drinking bottles. A lot of people here in town, and in all the towns actually, they collect these bottles. And here it says pant, what does it say? Glass, well, whatever, 2 krona you earn from this. 2 krona is like 20 cents, 20 euro cents. It's not so much, it's quite, but you know, you can survive like this, just collecting bottles. And buy your food. You don't have to buy your food. There's people giving you food away for free. There is like some church organization, at least here in town, where you can go every day and get your food. And of course the dumpster diving, super easy. Check this out. It's quite rich, the dumpsters here. Incredible. Dude. There is squats. In the bigger cities, you can live in a squat. You don't have to pay rent. They occupy houses. Of course, you risk being thrown out. But if you have nothing, you know, there's nothing to lose. If you have no job, no, you know, if you have no savings, no car, no like property, they can just throw you out. They can just give you fines. Here, because I have nothing, I only have what I'm wearing and a guitar, and I can, you know, commit any crime I want, because the penalty wouldn't affect me at all. When I take the bus, of course I don't pay. If I get a fine, whatever, I wouldn't pay that either. Put me in jail. It had never happened before, you know. It is because poor people are kind of a bit protected here, I would say. It's a perfect place to be poor. If you don't have kids, though. If you have kids, it's a different story, because of the child protection service. I have kids, that's why I have to kind of maneuver a bit differently than I did before. I go down there.